Hey guys, Territorial bring you a 1v1 today. We are on Langreskaya. Today spawning in the south we have killert155. Playing as Ostheer, immediately going for defensive. And from the north we have Tango Garden. Playing as US forces, going for infantry. In terms of rankings here, Tango around rank 70, Killer around rank 110. So, dropping a couple models here to get the wire up on those sandbags. Suppression doesn't kick in, they manage to jump back into the building. Spending a lot of time wiring off this cutoff. Don't know if that's really that worthwhile of an investment. You can see a very aggressive start from Whiskey coming down the far side, not capping up much on his side of the map at all. Second Ostheer about to pop out. Tango not going for another squad here. Okay, very late. About 100 manpower late on that third rifle. That's a pretty big mistake, but switching that over to a mortar now, which is a touch unusual. The resources for the officer soon. Pyro's charging in, but they're already so low on health, getting suppressed by the volley fire. Squad stalling out in the building very effectively.
Mortar crew standing by for orders.
Generally, as like the southern player, getting some wire on this side of the house is like a pretty high priority. And you can see why right here. This building control is costing killert a huge amount. Really struggling for territory control. Branching out to this side, but it's not going to be connected. But yeah, a little bit strange to see a mortar at this early stage, not bringing it in either. This is the commander with the mortar half-track, which I think on Langreskaya actually could be a pretty decent call. It's a little bit strange to see the regular mortar when that's available. And generally with, infantry company, you do want to go for 3 rifle squads, since you do have those M1919s later on. So, you don't have like elite infantry or anything like that that are going to be filling that gap. Just riflemen, and they can also plant the mines and build the sandbags. So, having a healthy number of riflemen important for this commander. I want to try and do some capping. Getting suppressed. Looks like it's going to crawl out of range and start the barrage, but already Killer on the move. Pushing forwards with that. Ambitious. Ostheer about to connect the fuel finally for Killer. Squad looks like it's going to try to sneak around to the building perhaps. So low on health though. Good switch of the focus fire from Whiskey. Oh, managed to smoke that off. We have the lieutenant nearby switching over. Looks like the mortar is not retreating. Might be able to start up a barrage wherever this sets up again. Here comes the lieutenant. Looks like that's going to back out. Mortar starting up a barrage. Rifleman closing in here. It seems like Killer with, more boots on the ground at the moment. They managed to cap up a good amount of territory control finally. There we go. Mortar finally does force that away. Half health on that. Could get wiped.
Heads up. Mechanized mortar carrier is now ready for action.
Unusual split on the map. Cut off at the moment as Killer. Looks like he's trying to soft retreat back to connect that point, but by the time he gets there it's already going to be decapped on the fuel. And going to get sandwiched between the rifle squad and the rear echelon, so that's not going to last for long. Tank trap up for Tango. It's this is an M1919 commander. It does help to have a lot of cover around. Ordinarily, you know, the cover might be a little bit of a liability against Ostheer. It probably still is, but might be worthwhile to take better advantage of your own LMGs. Not quite there yet. Overall, maybe the command points are a tiny bit slow so far.
Enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Things seem to be settling down into a more normal distribution of units and territory. 50 cal coming through. Got a Stuart queued up behind that as well. Whiskey Tango still with a lot of manpower though, having skipped that rifle. Going for the mortar instead seems to have led to a little bit less bleed overall. I think a mortar is a tiny bit cheaper in terms of manpower as well on the rifle. Okay, Ostheer charging ahead. Gonna go for the cut-off. That's the first one from Killer. Forcing away that squad. Lieutenant coming in from the other side. Bit slow reconnecting this. And two Panzer Grenadiers coming in for Killer. Gonna need to probably cancel that second one, go for a pack. There's a Stuart about to hit the field. Carrying the building, switching angles. I was also getting suppressed. MG reloading. Did it reload while suppressed though? It looks like it might have. That multiplies your reload time by 4, right? So even with the halved reload time from activating the ability, nearly backfired and whoa, higher squad down. Turn on the wipe indicator. So yeah, Whiskey could have kept shooting at the MG42, forced that away, but switching over to the Pyro squad, getting the wipe. That's quite nice. Stuart took a Faust, I'm guessing. Slowing it down a touch. In this case, I'd probably just come in here and try to push it from the other side of cover. If they try to go for a Faust, 2 squads nearby could threaten the wipe. PB's coming through. Oh, this could be it. Stuart backed away though, a little bit too timid from Whiskey Tango. That was a wipe opportunity for sure. Probably should have been a wipe. But now switching over to the Panzer Grenadiers. Killer really paying the price. Doesn't even have the tier 2 tech structure down yet, so losing those pyros very painful, and they're actually not building it even after freshly coming out. It's trying to go straight to battle phase, maybe go straight for the Stug E. In the meantime though, no defense against the Stuart. Ooh, friendly fire from that grenade. There's the bundle back the other direction. Maybe Killer trying to bait onto this Telemine on this side. Could work out. No sweepers yet for Whiskey Tango. No M1919s yet either, but does have a rifle squad back there. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Fighting pit covering this up. Oh, could the Telemine bait work out here? Ooh, it's going to be close. Not quite. But maybe. Oh, there was another Telemine. I didn't see it. Double Telemine bait. And there we go. Stuart goes down. So that works out really well for Killer. Oh, and the rear echelon go down as well. Whiskey Tango falling apart here. Given that Whiskey Tango is up against 2 Panzer Grenadiers, does make sense, I think. Wait for the building, so the MG42 is going to get there first. Does make sense to get the M1919s as well, because even though, you know, up against unupgraded Ostheer, maybe the riflemen without the M19 are the better option. Against the Panzergrenadiers, you probably want that extra long-range firepower to damage them from max distance. But at the moment, Whiskey Tango, you know, throwing out quite a few grenades instead. Sticking around for the decap here, it looks like. A bit of a late retreat from Whiskey Tango. Looks like a couple of those P-Green mods had to reload, otherwise I think they could have got the kill there. Close call, got a second 50 cal for Whiskey Tango now as well. MG in the building extremely low. Pretty well spread out though, one model here, the other two on the far side, so was unlikely to get wiped. Does have a dangerous retreat path though, backing out to this side. Rifleman into the retreat path. Here come the M1919s now. Telemine getting detonated by the mortar there, it seems. Does a bit of friendly damage to the Osttrooper. Trying to activate the incendiary rounds.
The enemy is taking our territory.
50 cal took a while to suppress. But in comes the rifle squad that was close to the cutoff. Could get decrewed here. It's going to be very close. No run and gun from the rifle squad though. Lob out a grenade before the exit.
Enemy is attempting to steal
He
our
brings on the
sector.
far fuel, get forced off. Killer not opting for that Struggy. Maybe would have done so if that Stuart was still on the field. Got the tier 3 tech up. And if he wants to go for a flak panzer, just about to be available.
We are losing a sector.
Whiskey Tango, meanwhile, rebuilding building an extra rifleman. I suppose not really rebuilding, hasn't lost one yet. Cal trying to spin around, and the wire here seemed to backfire on Killer. Couldn't get around the side. Could go down on retreat now. Cal not focused on that though. 1919 just, you know, slowly winning that one long range.
Krauts have cut our supply line. Frontline units are being hung out to dry.
But, you know, if you're playing against Whiskey Tango at this stage, maybe the flak panzer was the right choice. As we can see, just getting the major now, still about 100 fuel away from a Sherman, if that's what he wants to go for. So that flak panzer could have been on the field already, doing tremendous damage. And of course Whiskey Tango with no captain, can't build an anti-tank gun. Don't think he's ticked weapon racks either, no, so can't get any bazookas. So it would have been extremely vulnerable to a flak panzer rush. I guess it just at that stage comes down to Killer's instincts on how much fuel Whiskey Tango's got. Can now start production on that Panzer IV. But yeah, that could have been a really powerful flak panzer timing. And in the meantime, has lost a huge amount of territory control. The double MG lockdown really hurting Killer. Killer himself has been struggling a little bit for munitions, but should start to upgrade those LMGs now on his own Osttrooper. So he can fire back. My squad squeezing around the side there. Panzer IV still not in production for Killer, so this is very late at this stage.
Opponents are seizing a sector.
You know, I quite often, you know, get my Panzer IV a little bit of fuel late, but this is like over a minute late starting up the Panzer IV, and when you're in a dangerous map control situation like this, no tech up, so you can't build an anti-tank gun. It's crazy. There he is. I don't think they should have left the heavy cover there. That did not work out at all. The Thompson model staying and shreds that Peregrine up close. It's a Panzer IV now, but you know, close to 30 fuel late starting that up, and given his current income, it's about a minute and a half. So if you're going for a tank rush, you really have to be much more on top of your timings. I've lost many a game for making a mistake like that.
We're losing a capture point.
Does manage to cap over there, but not really connecting it very often. 50 cal flanking around. I mean, Osttroopen flanking around the 50 cal. You see how little damage those Osttroopen do on the move out of cover. They just really scratch the 50, but do end up forcing it away there. Pies could go down on retreat, but looks like the Panzer IV coming in. Upgrading it with the machine gun immediately. But look at this. Whiskey Tango's had such strong fuel control. He's, you know, now just 5 or so fuel away from being able to build his own Sherman. So, you know, killert opting to go for the Panzer IV and building it late. It's probably meant, you know, like a 4-minute or so timing window for Whiskey Tango to build up his fuel stores and answer back.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Great, about to pop. Maybe could get the wipe on the lieutenant here. Sherman in production for Whiskey Tango. Got to be careful not to take double anti-tank grenades on the Panzer IV. You don't want to take that risk if possible. And Killer might pay to put down tier 2 tech now. Have to expect you're going to need a pack very shortly. Does have enough munitions, I suppose, for some Peregrine Shreks, but probably doesn't want to go down that path if possible. Fire off the anti-tank grenade, but interrupted by getting pinned.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Meantime, Panzer IV, 6 kills, getting off to a pretty strong start. Gonna have to contend with this Sherman very shortly. A lot of manpower still left for Whiskey Tango as well.
Point is being overrun.
Okay, starting off with the bounce there. Oh,
We're losing a
good
capture
thing the
point.
Osttroopen do so little damage, otherwise that would have been a decrew. So the Panzer IV off to a strong start. 2 shots V1 in terms of damage. Oh, Rifle Squad considering coming in for the anti-tank grenade. Give up on that attempt though. Didn't want to get wiped, playing it safe. 50 cal, okay, yeah. Leaving the base a little bit too early. Captain for Whiskey Tango. And, you know, I feel one of the main advantages of these M1919 commanders is that you can afford to side tech to the second officer, captain or the lieutenant,
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
afterwards, because you didn't have to pay for the weapon racks. It just makes it a lot easier to fit into the build. In this case, Whiskey Tango opting for it after getting the Sherman out. Didn't want to slow down that Sherman any further in terms of fuel.
You've got a captain hitting the field.
So both of these have been repaired up enough that it will still survive 3 shots. Good grenade there from the rifleman. Bundle grenade dodged effectively by Whiskey Tango. And wow, Killer does go for the Peregrine Shreks. Very unexpected. Tank's about to trade some shots. Good timing for the Sherman to come in there while the Panzer IV was trying to land a shot on the 50. Get get a shot in with no damage in return. Tank gun next for Whiskey Tango. Look at VPs, you can see it. In spite of that very, very strong early game position, Whiskey Tango actually behind by about 50 points. Oh, that's a nasty grenade. Huge damage onto the Ostheer. And that causes a massive territory loss for Killer, who still has a huge amount of manpower. Putting a second Panzer IV, but even after that, 500 in reserve. Definitely an ineffective style.
The sector has been cut off.
But alright, see how it gets on. Shriek's going chasing after this Sherman and get a good connection there as well. With Shriek's connecting, Sherman out for repairs. Green's getting close, forcing the retreat over there. Not fully repaired on this Panzer IV. Might as well build a second pilot at this stage, speed up the repairs, especially with the second tank on the way. Looking for the wipe on the captain though. Anti-tank guns there, packed up, seating up again. Squad coming through for the anti-tank grenade. I felt like they were in range. 50 cal got stolen. P-Green's getting the decrew on it there. And they do get away alive as well. The Panzer Green's on this far side though, unable to get the capping going. Early retreat, trying to save some manpower. Not that Killer really needs to.
The capture point is under attack.
And in fact, we've got a second anti-tank gun for Whiskey Tango now as well. Killer has maybe... Oh, squad down.
Germans are making a push.
And M1919 picked up by the Ostheer. Panzer IV in quite deep. Takes the shot from the anti-tank gun. Sherman though, struggling to get through the armor. Needs to stay on prioritized vehicles with that. Sherman. Anti-tank guns here, not setting up. Going around the corner instead. I thought he might go for some attack rounds through the shrubs. Another connection though, the AT gun working well even though he's not popping the AP ammo. Sherman can't push in any further though. Ostheer coming through looking for the Faust. Second Panzer IV rolling through the center here. Double anti-tank guns. Could shut that down real fast. Sherman stop backing away here. And now taking an engine crit. Lieutenant going down on retreat as well. Wheels are starting to fall off a bit for Whiskey Tango. Double Panzer IVs looking to swarm in on the Shermans over here. The damaged engine should probably hear this in the fog of war. Jumps back into the Sherman. Second Panzer IV coming through as well. Double anti-tank guns coming across. Needs some smoke. Okay, smoking out, but maybe too far away. Double anti-tank guns opening up. They're popping the AP ammo now. Attack rounds missing. And Panzer IV blitzing out to safety. Hairy stuff there for Whiskey Tango. Easily could have lost the Sherman. I think one of those Panzer IV shots bounced on it, so close call. Second Sherman out for Whiskey Tango. Really needs to get the machine gun upgrades on these. Maybe the other one got interrupted by him jumping out of the Sherman to repair it. You have to be aware of that. We'll cancel those upgrades. But yeah, with a 150 cal down, as well as the lieutenant, Killer has pretty much evened out the army sizes now. Oops, Whiskey Tango has a tank decrewed at the moment, but once he jumps back inside, it's going to be pretty close. And maybe a slightly dangerous game. Double anti-tank guns right next to each other. Could backfire, but Can also get a kill very easily.
A capture point is
Shrek's
under
running
attack.
pretty good for killers so far. Usually they miss a bit more than this. Double Panzer IV's out for repairs, so in the meantime the double Sherman's getting some major work done. Missing a bunch of retreats. There we go. 50 cal popping on the other Sherman. Ostheer trying to hide around the corner from the Sherman. Doesn't last for long though. Switching rounds back over to the armor piercing on the Sherman. Yes, he feels like the Panzer IVs could be returned to combat very shortly. Doesn't want to get caught out. And just switch rounds. The anti-tank guns are over here though. Could be bad news for this Panzer IV. Does have the armored skirts though. Second anti-tank gun not coming forwards to engage. Squad inside the building extremely low. Could go down. Looks like the Shreks forced this Sherman away yet again. And squad inside the building surviving. Gotta be a little bit careful jumping in this building now, especially for Whiskey Tango. You can see this side of the building quite healthy still, so one shot from a Panzer IV on this side will do a huge amount of building health. Could get flattened quite quickly. More shots in here. Rifle squad goes down. Panzer IV catching them even behind the tank traps. I feel like, oh my god. Oh, that's very lucky for Whiskey Tango, but doesn't take advantage of that luck. He loses another squad, this time inside the building. I was going to say, it's quite lucky that, you know, that one of those Panzer IV shots landed short. But then didn't use that extra time to even jump out of the building, completely forgot about it. Seems like Whiskey Tango may be getting a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. Struggling to keep up with the pace, losing the captain after dodging the grenade. The building hanging on by a thread. A bit of a lucky break for Killer, could have lost that machine gun. Now Whiskey Tango gonna have to burn through those manpower reserves. There's almost no infantry left to cap with.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
We have 3 Sherman tanks. Could pay to maybe get a rear echelon. Jump on this. We'll probably just build another rifle squad as well. Sherman looking to apply some bleed.
Points are down to 300.
Gives up on that. Going to do some repair and cap work. Oh, looks like the Ostheer are going to steal away that 50.
We're losing a capture point.
Triple machine gun's going to be hard for Whiskey Tango to deal with that. Trying to use its team weapons to do some capping. Sherman coming to the retreat path, but might have his rear arm exposed to this Panzer IV that's coming in. Good connection though from HE Sherman. Ostheer low, second shot not so good. Wow, dropping the sector artillery. You don't often see it this deep into kind of enemy territory almost. There's a couple shots through. Continue to fall on units and if the territory gets neutralized. It does. Interesting, I didn't know that. Wonder if that's only on the sector you click it on or on all sectors. For decapping it stopped it on that particular sector, but it doesn't appear to be the case. Okay, I got the triple Sherman pain train coming through. So they're all on armor piercing. Understandable, doesn't want to have to switch rounds. Couple of Panzer IVs and the Shreks though. Double anti-tank guns back here. So It's a double Sherman, double rifle rebuild. Oh, is that the end? Yep, there we go, Panzer IV. Not getting away there. Oh, and the other one getting caught on the wreck. It's abandoned. Finished off. Looks like Whiskey Tango happy with those kills. Just going to disengage and repair up most of the tanks. But yeah, some massive pathing issues there for Killer T. Getting caught in this area. First Panzer IV, maybe there's not much he could do to avoid that. With the double anti-tank guns, triple Shermans there, it's hard to get away, but the second one, unfortunate. Now it's Whiskey Tango in a strong position after knocking out the double Panzer IVs. Battle Phase 3 is up for Killer.
We've dropped to 200 points.
Hasn't put down the Tier 4 tech structure yet though. It has so much manpower. Really can't afford to play against triple Shermans with just one Panzer Shrek. There goes an Osttrooper. Shrek's hunting down this Sherman. He's dropped out some smoke. Hasn't brought in the other Shermans to assist though. One more Shrek and that Sherman's going to go down. Jumps out with the vehicle crew. Osttrooper die. What happened there? It sounded like it bounced, right? But Panzer Shrek can't bounce? Like, that was really strange. Either way, Killer T is suffering huge losses there, trying to finish off the Sherman. Good thinking by Whiskey Tango, jumping out. Slowed down Killer T. Wasn't prepared for that. The extra delay, you know, dropped the Panzergreens from 2 down to 1 model, so only 1 Shrek got to fire, and sounded like it bounced, but don't know how that's possible. Well, there's a 100% chance to pin there.
We've got a rifle squad waiting for orders.
Still, Whiskey Tango behind on the VPs. Needs to get something going. Looks like he's going to do some capping with the double anti-tank guns. While there's no vehicles on the field. Killer T, meanwhile, has just so many resources. Has put up the tech. I'm guessing it's going to be a Panther first. But needs to get on top of that. Senior rounds activated. This could be a decrew on the anti-tank gun. Very quick to get decrew as well.
Just got wiped out.
And in production now for Killer. Probably needs another Osttrooper. Oh, loses a Pyro squad. No retreat at all.
Enemy infantry.
Oh, late retreat. Sherman forcing the retreat over here. Rifleman jumping into that building. A little bit risky. That's also extremely low. Got some close calls in the buildings this game. Not jumping on the anti-tank gun though. Triple Sherman should be able to overwhelm the Panther. Oh, there's a Shrek on that P-Gren. They dodge on the grenades. Ooh, late dodge. Big damage. Osttrooper gonna cancel their Faust. Yeah, without enough Osttrooper support here, without the Faust support, the Panther could still struggle quite a lot. And I don't know what's going on here. There's some suicidal play on both players' sides. Preservation falling off quite badly. Killer losing the 50 over here as well as over here. Coming in, but this rifle squad has a Shrek. Should be trying to fire that off. Try and get a range for the anti-tank grenade. Good bit of smoke. Panther gets cold feet. Shrek fires now. Anti-tank grenades. Oh, not quite enough. Wow, up to 4 riflemen? Is it? 0 not too long ago, right? Crazy stuff. Yeah, they're switching sides here. Playing tank guns. Rotating across. Damage. Final grenade absorbed by the sandbags. But this from killert is some of the worst float I've ever seen at this kind of level of play. It's like almost all game floating over 600 manpower. And there's so many things he could build, you know, he desperately needs more repairs. Not building any more pyros. Could build another Panther, he's, you know, he's got 30 extra fuel. Could have built that ages ago. Hasn't gone for that yet either. Rebuilding Peagrens and the Panther, okay. Finally, you know, under 400 manpower. Build a pyro squad as well for some more repairs. Does have one Shrek, remember. Don't really want to be capping under triple Sherman fire with your Peagrens though. Pretty expensive to reinforce.
Germans are making a push.
Manages to get the decap though. Whiskey Tango down to just over under 90 points. killert still over 200.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
And one thing I've been doing a little bit lately myself is, you know, if you're up against double Panthers like this, it can actually be pretty effective, depending on how you're doing in terms of anti-infantry, to take weapon racks and then put one bazooka on all your rifle squads as well. It's just like extra bit of anti-tank really helps shut down Panther dives. Do you think it's has its place? But it's kind of, you know, if you've got resources to burn, in this case Whiskey Tango, you know, could maybe equip 2 bazookas. There's, you know, enough resources to get the tech going. Bring up all the Sherman tanks. Did go for Shreks on the other Peagren, didn't fully reinforce them though, bringing them out too early. And crits, oh, drops the Shrek. Pies could pick that one up. Double tank guns rotating across, looking for the wounded Panther. Double Sherman's coming in from this angle as well. So a straight on attack from Whiskey Tango could have been an option to come through here. Probably have knocked out that 2 moral Peagren squad pretty quickly. Trying to go head on. It's a bit of a struggle against the Panther. They do pretty well in that department. 50 cal spins around. Also back that squad, but at this stage now the Shermans are all very low in health. Might struggle to finish the job on these Panthers. Picked up by the Major. One more shot left to knock out that Panther. This is out though, getting away. The other Panther back here getting repaired up. We've got the double anti-tank guns coming through. In this case, setting up one facing this way, one facing this way would probably be the way to go. This one does just have the arc. Spinning around. Where's he going with that anti-tank gun? Uh-oh. Backing away with it. Shrek, not quite enough to finish off that Panther. One AT gun decrewed by the Panzergrenadiers coming through. Oh, bounce, but the anti-tank gun finishing off the job. squad getting away there. Oh, big damage from the Shreks. 2 Sherman tanks very low. Panther back here, but hasn't even started repairs on it yet. The impact of only having 1 Pyro squad. He was out here repairing the other Panther. Didn't have any extra squad to start repairs in base. Second anti-tank gun though, destroyed. Whiskey Tango capping though on the points at least. Hasn't drained any further. And building another Sherman. Sherman HE rounds, not having much success there. Oh, 50, MG42 decrewed. 50 cal over here. MG wars, but all the Shermans I think are pretty much back up to full strength. Steel on the machine gun. Begins dropping fast, trying to throw out a grenade. Major later on the retreat could go down. And does. Piglins finish it off. Shreks under threat from the riflemen. And they go down. Okay, here we go. Here comes the Sherman train. Steamrolling forwards. Panther getting blasted. Kind of cornered at the moment. Pyro's left behind by Killer.
Germans down to 75 points.
Okay, well, Jackson coming in next for Whiskey Tango, just looking to seal the deal. Could just go full disrespect, just drive into the base, and there's nothing the Panther could do even against these 4 Shermans at this stage. Killer does have enough to build another Panther in terms of fuel, not quite there in the manpower department though. Rebuilding all these Panzergrenadiers is really hurting his manpower. Triple cap running. Killer decides, okay, don't have time to wait for the Panther. Gonna go for the Stug instead. I think that's a fair decision. But I don't think it's gonna matter. Just doesn't have enough to get on those VPs in time. Managing to somewhat hide around the corner. There's some decapping going.
Tank destroyer is ready for action.
Here comes the Sherman train. Engine damage not happening there. Here comes the Sherman train against the Panther. Piglins do manage to cap down to 11 points. Doesn't have anything near one of the other 2 VPs though. That's going to be the GG call. They're going in for one last hurrah. And down it goes. And there we go, draining out on the points. So a pretty strong start for Whiskey Tango, you know, a real lesson on how important it is to try to get wire up on this door early on. Really shut down Killer's movements on this side of the map. Whiskey Tango didn't even follow it up with like the most incredible pressure, only building 2 riflemen instead of 3, going for a mortar at one stage, which kind of give Killer the opportunity to come back into this after that slow start. Vehicular trying to go for like a no anti-tank gun style build. Overall, not very effective. And yeah, just constantly floating way too much manpower at all stages. You know, just there's always opportunities to build other units, whether it be Ostheer, rebuilding those, just so you have access to the Fausts, so that the Sherman tanks can't completely disrespect what you're doing. Pyos for faster repairs. Or P-greens, I suppose. But, you know, if you can't build the Shreks on them, doesn't have the munitions, might just be better off getting the Ostheer. Better, you know, like going for those suicidal cap maneuvers, since they're so much cheaper to reinforce than the Panzer Grenadiers and higher model counts, so they're least likely to get wiped by the Shermans. But yeah, Whiskey Tango let Killer back in this game with some poor preservation, lost all of his infantry at one stage. I think just only had the major. Definitely quite a few easily avoidable squad wipes from Whiskey Tango this game. Well, anyway, guys, wrap on that. If you like a game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.